For the latest top tips, reviews and advice, please subscribe below.
Hello and welcome to Attwoolls Camping and Leisure with me, Mike. Today I'm giving you a review on the Vango driveway awning range. So the one I've got here is the Vango Idris. So it's a really nice inflatable driveway awning from Vango. It's where sort of they start in terms of their inflatable driveway awnings. So it's a really nice model and something that's brilliant sort of to purchase, and certainly if you're driving from place to place or touring, it fits the bill brilliantly. So there are very different models in the driveway range. They do the Idris, the Keeler, the Galley, the Cruise. So there's a few to really choose from depending on your needs. Now the Idris comes in 3 different sizes. So there's the low, standard and the tall. So the purpose of it is the main body of the actual driveway awning stays the same. It's the attachments here which basically change different heights. So the low, for example, is anything from sort of 180 up to sort of 210. The standard's about 205 to 235, and then from the tall, yet again, it's 235 upwards to about 280. So depending on your particular vehicle and what height it is, there is a watch model you go for. If you're not really sure, bring it into our shop. We're happy to measure that for you, so that way you know you're going away with the right awning. Yeah, again, we normally have it up in our indoor display room, so you can come and have a look at it as well. Always better to look things in the flesh, if you ask me. So in terms of the specifications of the actual Idris, joys are, it's very waterproof, so it's got a great hydrostatic head. You've got, it's about a 70 denier fabric, so it's a good, adequate fabric that will happily serve you in good time. You've got lovely PVC windows, not only on the side, front door, and then also on this part here. All come with sort of toggle up and down curtains. So the joys of that is you can have your privacy when you want to, but then when you want to have basically light, put it down, brilliant. You've got various different ventilation points. So you've got sort of low level ventilation to help give a circulation of air to really help combat condensation. You've then got a nice one at the front again here. Same sort of principle to keep a circulation of air, trying to keep condensation at bay. Great model, beautiful colour. It's by far probably my favourite colour of awning, as ridiculous as that might sound, on the market. And even when you put it against something that's white, it just seems to stand out and pop, and it's like a summer's day every day. Even when it's cloudy and gloomy and it's raining, it still somehow means to bring a smile to my face. So it's very similar to put up. You can actually put the whole thing up in the best part of 7 minutes flat. There is a video of myself actually doing this very awning on our motorhome here, to give you a complete sort of idea of how it goes up from start to finish, and most importantly how to pack it down, which is usually there is a bit of a knack to. So the joys of, yet again, some of this, it comes with basically a bracer beam for the roof, so you can get the roof looking taut regardless. You can actually buy additional bracer beams if you wish to go across the sides to give it that structure. On the reverse side over there, you've actually got a mesh door, so again you can have a good circulation of air without having sort of flies and whatnot come in. There are things like inner bedrooms you can purchase for it, so if you wanted to sleep people inside of it, it's very versatile. But the one thing that makes it sort of quite unique in comparison to the Keeler, which sits above it, is the fact it's got a toggle in, toggle out ground sheet. So if you want to have the grass area inside the awning for dogs or anything like that, you can do so. Like I said, it is necessarily cheaper, so you do lose a bit in the specifications in comparison to the Keeler model. But the main thing is that ground sheet can come in and out. So again, the Keeler is probably the most popular one in the model, but if you want something lower and you can't quite afford the Keeler, the Idris is a really good model. You've got Vango's airspeed valve system, so it's something that's painted to Vango that's only available from them. And the joys of it is it has open and close, it's very simple to use, and it's something that's been around for a while, so it's tried and tested. In terms of a lot of questions we do have is, if you have a puncture, what happens? Well, the joys of it with Vango is they've got a very good aftercare service. So the beams, almost like a bladder, can be replaced or patched up, and you get a patch repair kit with it. The principle is kind of like a bike tyre, so you've got like an inner tube, an outer shell, and like a sleeve inside the tent. So it's very well thought out, and we've done the base part of inflatable tents and driveway awnings for 6-7 years now, so it's not something that's really new. Now, because it fits a range of models, so it depends if you go obviously for the low, standard and tall, it's adaptable. So when you're on an actually lower threshold of what it recommends, you do find you get a little bit more basically saggage in the attachment. So the main body, like I said, stays the same regardless of the model, but what really changes is the attachment part here. So you've got a webbing strap, which you can see, and that takes the slack up. So this model is the tall model, so you can go all the way up to sort of 285. My rail, I know, is actually 250. So you've got best about 30 centimeters to take up the slack. So by just pulling on the webbing strap, obviously it gives it tension, and it gets it looking really nice and crisp, and you can still use this lovely side door. So this side door here is purely meant when you want to enter the vehicle without actually going through the awning. So I can quite happily go in there, step into my motorhome without traipsing my muddy shoes straight into what is my lovely awning. If it's like carpets and all sorts you can buy as well. So another model you can think about is what they call like a footprint. So footprint ground actually goes underneath the tent to basically protect the base of the bottom. So it keeps it nice, clean and dry. But there are more helpful videos that we tend to do on our YouTube channel explaining all about footprints and carpets as well. So by all means check that out. When you come to drive away, you basically detach this part here. That then rolls up and you've got toggle points to basically keep that neat and tidy. And then you've got extra guide ropes to torsion and pull it. So when you're leaving it freestanding, it's still going to stand up nice and strong and taut. And there's a divider door which completely zips across and makes it enclosed, but we'll go into that more detail when we step inside. There are many different ways to attach this particular drive away to your vehicle, whether it be a T5 motorhome. The one I've got at the moment is like a Fiamma awning. There are other things like a pole and clamp kick, C-rails, straps just to throw over the top, but there's a video on our YouTube page again explaining a lot more about that in detail. So if you have any questions, have a look at that, or worst case scenario, give us a call. We're always happy to give you a hand. But in essence, I'll talk about a bit more about the features inside the actual Idris itself. So let's have a little look. So now you can see a bit more of the inside of the Idris. You can get a bit more of a better feel for it. So regardless of the models, this main body, this part here, remains the same. What changes is actually the attachment part on the outside. So you've got a really nice sort of 3 meters 10 wide, about sort of 280 deep there or thereabouts. Loads of room inside here for tables, chairs, anything you want to put really inside of here. In terms of the feature side, like I said, you've got on the outside, I said about the toggle in and out ground sheet. So down here, this part here you can see actually is removable. So if you want to have the grass area, it's more just a case of basically unclipping her, removing it, and then you can have a nice grassy area there. You've got one window on the left hand side which is PVC, then you've got additional small windows at the front here. Yeah, again, all come with curtains so you can get your privacy when you want to. You've actually got ventilation in ways of panels. So underneath the window part here, there's almost like basically a vent panel just to allow a good circulation of air. On the right hand side here, you've also got a mesh door. So like I said, if it's a warm day, you want good circulation inside your awning without having to worry about sort of flies and bugs coming in. Great use of the mesh door there, so that's a really great thing. One thing you can actually if you want to actually sleep people inside the awning, you can actually buy an inner bedroom tent. So there's actually clips located sort of very tucked away quite sneakily. So you can erect an inner bedroom in here, sleep 2 people, take it down during the daytime and just use the internal room. That's what I would more or less do, to be fair. You've got a bracer beam along the top here as well. So here it is. It's basically really just to give you additional strength along the roof and yet again help you make that roof look really nice and taut. So if you really wanted to, you can actually buy them for about £15–17 and put along the side if you wanted to give more bracing there. It doesn't necessarily need it, but it's going to make it look smarter without really as much effort as you want to put inside of it. On the obviously front door we've got here, yet again it's another ventilation panel just above here like so. Lovely big PVC window on the front as well. What I would probably do, like I said on the outside, is actually get some king poles, put that door out on the flat, use the king poles, and you've got additional shelter at the front here. So like king poles will cost you no more than £20, but it really help to make your awning that much bigger if you don't want something that big really. So it's one of those sort of compromises you can put out for like sort of a rainy day. Now, with the vehicle here, there's actually a door that goes here, which I've just tucked away down here. So what it allows you to do is when you come to drive away, so you can detach it from your awning or your motorhome, basically roll that position back, toggle it, pull the guard ropes out, and then zip this door in place. So again, so you've got a complete door, zip along around the top, and there's one more zip along the bottom. And that's your bank door there. So one thing you can also do as well, if you want it halfway, so when you're using it during the daytime, put it halfway back, roll it back, and then you've got toggle points there as well. I mean, personally, when I'm using the awning, I most likely just keep the whole thing open and then shut the front door, and then you've got your internal space there. So one other thing as well, which is quite a nice little thing, is there's actually hanging lantern points, as well as basically cable tying points on the actual item. There you go, make that look nice and neat. So just on here, there's actually a hanging point for the lantern, and then you're getting over here, you've just got little tabs which allow you to put sort of an electric light, put the electric lead down the side, and there's actually a cable entry point at the back there as well, so you can actually put your mains electric in there without having to leave the door open the whole time. One thing that is unique to Vango, and it's something they've actually sort of patent patented, is what they call their TBS system. So it stands for tension band. Now it's something that they've used in their high-end sort of backpacking tents, and they filter down into their family tents and have done for years. But it was one thing they put in their sort of tunneled awnings. So this basically consists of little pockets about here with sort of webbing straps. So the idea in mind is basically it gives you a triangular formation sort of internally to give the awning additional strength. 95% of people don't really bother using them, and really you don't need to. It's just there for added security and added assurance if you wanted to. So I mean, what I would personally do is literally, if I was leaving the awning for a while, or like I said, driving away and leaving it up, is just pop those in. You don't want to basically over tighten them, you just want them sort of fairly, something like that, so still from playing it. Like what it does is when the wind's say buckling from that side, that point tensions it and then keeps its shape. So it's a clever little system, something like they've, as I said, Vango have used for numerous years now. It's only something they do. And then, like I said, most people won't really want to use them. The problem is, if you had it in during the day, you've got a very good chance of trying to, well, lynch yourself, really. So like I said, don't really necessarily use them unless you're leaving the awning for a period of time, or the wind conditions are stupidly bad. But in essence, yeah, really nice model, the Idris. It's a great addition, and it's like something you can always fit a purpose to use everything else. One other thing I've yet to mention is actually there is a toggle front lip. So the point of down here actually is you can toggle that down so you haven't got to sort of step in and outside the awning. So again, the joys of that is it's not a trip hazard for kids or dogs or things like that, really. So that just toggles up when you're done with it, so it keeps the water and rain out. But in essence, yeah, say a really nice model. Something that happened in the 2016 season goes on to the 2017 season, and yet again, from strength to strength, its reputation continues. So that is basically the Vango Idris, tall, low, and standard.